Four news stories for viewers and one update. First news story is from Addis Ababa. We have been reporting about some protests by Muslim students because they were not allowed to pray in school premises. Today, after Friday prayer, students protested in Addis Ababa, in some parts of Oromia region as well. Some protest rallies were taken out against Addis Ababa government's decision that students should not pray in school premises. Secondly, we have a very alarming update for you about ongoing government operation against Oromo Liberation Army. The operation is continuing. We have a new story from Oromia Somali region border, where mobilization of some Somali region forces has been seen in border area. Oromia Somali region border area. What is the purpose of this mobilization of Somali regional forces towards Oromia? Thirdly, Welkait viewers, we know that Gonda University researchers have uncovered some mass graves there, and they claim that around 3 to 4 decades ago, hundreds of Amharas were killed by Tigray fighters, and these are the graves of those Amharas. Now, what is Ethiopian government doing? Is it approving the claims of Amhara regional government, or is it playing its role as a federal government which should be neutral, which should start investigations and it should give its opinion, its views after investigations? We have some statements of Ethiopian government for you. And lastly, viewers, we have a new story from Eritrea, where we know that in coming months, some new batches of students who are in the final year of their secondary school education will be sent to a military camp, a training camp, Sawa training camp. We have talked to some trainees who underwent military trainings there at Sawa as students, and they say that a specific disorder has been seen, a disease at Sawa military camp, and several students in the past have been seen they suffer from this particular disorder, which is due to stress, due to behavior of the instructors. What is this disease, this disorder, which some Sawa students suffer from? Before these four news stories, one update, viewers. Last week we informed about a press conference by fuel tankers associations. Fuel tanker owners gave 10-day ultimatum to the government, and they had threatened that they would go on strike after 10 days if their demands were not met. Now, reportedly, negotiations between Fuel Tanker Association and government have succeeded, and Fuel Tanker Association have decided, this association has decided to postpone its call for strike. A very welcome move, because we know that there is already shortage of fuel. Long queues at petrol stations can be seen of vehicles. Now, four news stories. Firstly, Addis Ababa, where today after Friday prayer, some protests were seen in some parts of Oromia as well. Some protest rallies were taken out by Muslims. Why are they protesting? They are protesting against a decision of Addis Ababa Education Department, which has prohibited Muslim students from praying in school premises. This week, some Muslim students were arrested in Addis Ababa who were praying in school premises. Then a meeting was held between Addis Ababa education department officials and school principals. It was decided that no one should be allowed to pray in school premises. Then we saw statements from Muslim scholars like Ustaz Abu Bakr and some Addis Ababa scholars as well, who rejected the decision of Addis Ababa Education Department. They say that if Christmas can be celebrated in schools, why can't Muslim students pray in school premises? That is why protests were held in Addis Ababa, in some parts of Oromia as well. Watch two clips, then a next news story. Secondly, words, government's operation, coordinated operation involving several forces against Oromo Liberation Army is continuing. We have a new story from Oromia, Somali region border. Here, some contingents of Somali regional government forces have been seen mobilized towards border areas, Oromia, Somali region border areas. Mobilization is being seen in Dawa zone of the Somali region. Dawa zone, Hodet district. Here in Hodet secondary school, reportedly some contingents of Somali region's government forces have arrived. The area is very close to southern Oromia. Questions are being raised by some locals. Why is that large number of small regional forces, large number of these troops is being seen in border areas? Is it due to some likely escape of OLA fighters from Oromia into Somali region? That defensive preparations being made? Or Somali regional government is deploying its forces to Oromia to support government forces against Oromo Liberation Army? Well, if these deployments are defensive, if Somali region government wants to seal its border to stop OLA fighters from entering Somali region, nothing wrong with that. They have this right to protect their borders. But if Somali regional government wants to deploy its forces to Oromia to support government forces against OLA, it would be a very, I would say, it would lead to serious frictions, because then OLA fighters start hitting areas in Somali region as well. So far, we have not seen Somali region government forces crossing into Oromia. They have been seen only in Hodet secondary school. We'll update you in coming videos. I personally think Somali regional government should not be part of this operation against OLA. Otherwise, OLA will hit back in Somali region areas from Oromia. Thirdly, viewers, Welkait, where mass graves were allegedly uncovered by some researchers of Gonda University. Amhara regional government is highlighting this issue. What is Ethiopian federal government doing? Is it launching some investigation? Are its federal departments involved to verify the findings of researchers? Or is it just backing the claims of Amhara regional government? Unfortunately, Ethiopian federal government is just backing, approving the claims of Amhara regional government. Ethiopian federal government should be neutral. It should not be supporting any party. If Amhara regional government is claiming that some mass graves have been uncovered in Welkait, federal government should start investigations. It should involve its investigative bodies. Then it should give its opinion about genocide, killing of Amharas or otherwise. So it should be neutral until the findings of investigations conducted by some federal body are made public. But even before the start of investigations, we have seen statements from Dina Mufti, Foreign Ministry spokesperson of Ethiopian government, who is openly saying that Welkait mass graves show that Amharas were killed by Tigray fighters. I think it shouldn't happen. Ethiopian federal government should start investigation. It should involve its federal investigative bodies. Then it can form an opinion and share the finding with the international community and with the forums in the country. Lastly, viewers, Eritrea, we talked to several people from Eritrea, several persons from Eritrea who underwent some military trainings at Sawa military camp. They say that several Sawa students suffer from a particular disorder. It is called CD, conversion disorder. We know that Eritrean students in the last year of their secondary school are sent to a training camp, military training camp. There they are trained, they undergo military training. At the same time, they study, and they cannot pass the final year of the secondary school examination until they are at Sawa military camp. So their secondary school examination and military training both are linked. We know that conscription, national service, it has been enforced by several countries. But the problem in Eritrea is that education and military training both have been associated. Students cannot pass the exam, secondary school exam, until they report at Sawa military camp. That is the main problem. 16, 70-year-old students report there, and sometimes they cannot tolerate the tension, the stress there. That is why some students suffer from a disorder called conversion disorder, CD. Several students shared their stories with us on conditions of anonymity. They don't want their names to be made public. They say that this disorder manifests itself in the form of tremors, seizures. It's a sort of neurological disorder, and the instructors there, obviously they are not well equipped and well trained to understand what students are going through, and they think that it's just that they are malingerers, and they are just faking this thing. But it happens. I talked to an instructor as well who is not in Eritrea now. He also confirmed. He said that almost in every batch there are several students, male and female, who suffer from conversion disorder, CD. And they get no medical aid, no psychological assistance. They just have to be there. They have to complete the tenure. Some human rights organizations say that students at Sawa camp have to face physical abuse as well. If these reports are true, it means that students of 16, 70-year-old with stress of passing their education exam and their military training, it becomes too much for them to handle. That is why perhaps they suffer from this disease. Eritrean government should disassociate education and military training. Yes, military training, if the government thinks is inevitable, it can continue, but it shouldn't be mandatory for each and every student to report at Sawa to continue his education. Thank you for watching.